someone he knows at Correctional Services in KZN, and can I kindly engage with the person? There is something that they want to report or raise. He says, I don't know the details. I indicated, General, kindly send us the contact details so that Idac can engage. Lieutenant General Mkwanazi on a WhatsApp sent the contact details of the person that he was requesting we make contact, Idac make contact with. I said, not a problem, General, we will deal with it. He said, thank you, sent me a picture with the police salute, and that was it. I didn't, nor did my office, in terms of the investigators. We didn't get an opportunity to engage, because once the media expose of the 6th of July, I paused to wonder why we were asked to make contact with this person. And I've subsequently learned that that person is, in fact, subject to investigations for corruption. So at the time, I didn't know who it was. After the 6th July expose, I sought to look and find out who this person is that we were being asked to contact, given the allegations made by General Mkwanazi about Idac and the ID.
So just explain to us, what is the connection between this person that Lieutenant General Mkwanazi wants you to make contact with and his involvement in a corruption case? Is it a case that you were investigating as Idac, or a case that the police was investigating?
Honorable Chair, I had no idea who the person was. General only indicated that this person had an issue that he wanted to discuss or escalate. He said, I'm not sure of what the issue is. I asked him to send me the contact details. We didn't speak to the person, but after the 6th July expose, I sought to look at who is this person we were supposed to contact, and it turns out that this is a person implicated in corruption.
But what case of corruption?
So this is a person that is implicated in the in allegations of corruption with Bosasa in his time as the Correctional Services Commissioner for KwaZulu-Natal. That is the allegation.
The Zondo Bosasa or something?
The Zondo Bosasa, yes.
And he wanted you to contact that person?
Yes, but what he wanted, I don't know that he knew. I want to be honest. I really don't know if he knew what the person was going to say. I don't know if he knew what the person is involved in. I cannot make that kind of deduction. But after the 6th July media expose, I sought to step back because I couldn't understand why he would have talked to me on the 2nd of July, yet went ahead and made the allegations he made as he did on the 6th of July. I sought to step back from that matter.
So I don't think it's rocket science to deduce that you must have been quite shocked when you heard his allegations on the 6th of July, having had contact with Lieutenant General Mkwanazi on the 2nd of July, actually asking you to do something.
That is correct, Chair.
Now, just going back to the legal opinion that was provided to the National Commissioner, it was also dated 11 December 2024. And it's clear from here that they say obviously Honourable Adams' allegations are scanty and so on, but they do say it requires to be properly investigated and prosecuted. However, it also requires that resources should not be wasted and suspects should not be subjected to persecution based on unsubstantiated allegations. They acknowledge the seriousness of the allegations. They said, while these allegations made by the complainant are serious in nature, they are unsubstantiated at this stage. The complainant's statements can be described as vague accusations rather than an account of factual details that fall within the complainant's personal knowledge. and then they say the current information in the dockets is scanty and too vague to formulate charges against any suspects. As a result, legal service is unable to confirm the required elements of any offence. Any offence are contained in the dockets. But subsequently, you or Idac, the investigators, did engage with the allegations, obviously interviewed witnesses, gathered further information, and they presumably satisfied that there's a case to answer.
It is correct, Chair, insofar as the two cases that are now enrolled. The other cases must still be assessed once those investigations are complete, and I cannot tell this House that there would be sufficient evidence or insufficient evidence. We'd have to adjudicate those matters on the evidence based on the investigations. So what would happen with those cases, I am unable to indicate. Unlike with the first two, we were able to finish those investigations because they were much easier in terms of the allegations. The other allegations are a bit more in-depth and need a lot more investigation than what was in the two initially enrolled cases.
Now, a standard question in our inquiry. Do you know Kat Matlala? Do you know Brown Mkhotsi? Have you got their names or numbers on your mobile telephone?
No, I don't know any of them, and got to know of them from what is in the media reports. And of course now through the Madlanga Commission one gets to know about the allegations of their criminality. Kat Matlala, we got to know based on the fact that, well, we got to know of him, to be correct, based on the referral on the 16th of February 2025 from the Risk Audit Committee of the South African Police, but only insofar as relates to the 360 million rand tender, nothing else. So I cannot comment on their criminality, either one of them, or anyone else that is allegedly the Big Five cartel.
And another cat, but this one with a K, Molefe.
No, Chair. What I know is what is at the Commission, and or what General Mkhwanazi said on the 6th of July, or what he testified to.
Were you aware that Mr. Molefe's place was raided on the 6th of December 2024?
No. After the fact, yes, as it now plays itself out in the media, through the Commission.
Because the narrative is that what triggered this whole train of events is Molefe's, the raid, his arrest on the 6th of December in Gauteng. PKTT is also involved in that operation. And then you have the directive of the 31st of December 2024 issued by the Minister. And then there is the, of course, terminating PKTT immediately, and there's an issue about that. But there's the dockets are then sought very early in January by General Sabia, and there's a whole trail of events.
Honourable Chair, it is rather unfortunate that were the conclusions that were sought to be drawn. Idac received a referral from Mr. Adams. We continued with that investigation. In February, we received a referral from the South African Police Services into the tender irregularities of Kat Matlala. We proceeded with that investigation. If it hadn't played itself out in the media space at the time about his devices being seized, we would have carried on with our investigation till the investigation dictated a need to conduct a search and seizure in terms of a cyber warrant and then in terms of a normal warrant for documents. What their allegations and involvement are in other criminal matters, who's investigating those matters, are not of interest to Idac, nor were they within the purview of Idac. And the only way we came to know that the PKTT was even involved in the Matlala matter was the National Commissioner who directed that the 2 cell phones that were seized from Matlala were with Lieutenant General Khumalo's team, and that he had arranged and facilitated that those would be brought to Idac and the cyber expert for download. That is as far as the knowledge is concerned. Everything else that we do know about the PKTT has played itself out as it has in the media. Be it the letter, be it the request for dockets, why they were asked, when they were asked, were not within our purview, and it has nothing to do with Idac. And we had no right or reason to be involved in any of those. And if I could just say one final thing, if the police had not referred Honourable Chair and members on the 16th of February 2025, if they had not referred the 360 million rand tendered to Idac, Idac would not have had any matter against Cat Matlala. If they chose to refer it to the DPCI as an example, we would have had nothing to do with any investigation into Cat Matlala, and we don't have investigations against the PKTT and or Mr. Molefe or anyone else that is mentioned as part of that group.
So are you still investigating the Cat Matlala allegation about the tender?
Only the tender, yes. The 360 million rand Saps tender awarded to Medicare 24. That is the investigation, not anything else.
Just to place it on the record, I'm just looking at the Minister Mkunu's affidavit that he deposed to in these proceedings. He says at paragraph 79 on page 34 for the record that shortly after he assumed office, that would have been in July 2024, he received reports of abuse of power by the NK, he calls it the KTT. These individuals had either been part of or were still part of the NPKTT. These are all events that he says informed his decision of the 31st of December. They have indicated their willingness to come and testify before the ad hoc committee should they be required. Although they are willing to assist, they have, however, raised issues of security, and that I leave to the ad hoc committee to decide. He then refers to a letter on the 3rd of August 2024 that he wrote to the Inspector General, then who is now suspended, of Intelligence, Mr. Imtiaz Fazal, requesting an investigation, and also in allegations made by Ms. Patricia Mashale. I don't know if you know her or heard of her. Ms. Patricia Mashale.
I have heard of her in the media space because she does make herself known in that space, but not in any other context.
Then in October and November, he refers to letters of complaint he received from Ms. Mary Daas. Do you know her?
I have heard of her as well through the media.
And then on the 14th of October, he had a meeting with General Masamola and Khumalo, and they were briefing him on investigation they were conducting into Lieutenant General Sabia and Lieutenant General Khan of Crime Intelligence. Do you know both of those two gentlemen?
Yes, I do. More so Lieutenant General Sabia, because there was a time when he worked at the Scorpions, at the DSO, for a time in Gauteng, and I think then in the Free State. So I know who he is, yes. And I am aware of the allegations that are being made.
Honourable James.
Thank you so much, Chair. Just clarity from my side, because I see since this morning the narrative that we're trying to create here, I believe is incorrect. Earlier on, Advocate, you said that on the 16th of February, the gadgets were handed to you by members of PKTT. I just heard the SC again say now that the members of PKTT obviously were involved in the raid and the arrest on the 6th of December. Now, there's the PKTT unit and there's counterintelligence, and this is exactly what General Mkhwanazi was highlighted on the 6th of July, is the fact that the PKTT was incorrectly disbanded based on the fact that there were assumptions that this was the team going after these cartels. And again here, it is sort of, the narrative is that it was PKTT. It was the members that were redeployed from PKTT to the counterintelligence in Gauteng that was actually dealing with these investigations. The PKTT was a team that was purely dealing with cases in KZN. So the team that you are referring to is the counterintelligence and not PKTT. So I think we just need to get that right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I do take note, and thank you for the clarification. It is purely because we were not aware of who is investigating, and when we spoke to the National Commissioner said, I will arrange, it is with the PKTT. He didn't make the clarification, Honorable James, and so I'm grateful for the clarification.
Let's see.
They continue.
Yeah.
And then on the 13th, I think
We are going to break in the next 9 minutes.
yeah, it should be in order. On the 13th of November, Mr. Kabinde wrote to Idac requesting a Section 27 investigation that you've already dealt with. So these are amongst some of the reasons that I have repeated from Minister Mkunu's affidavit that, amongst others, informed.
Honorable Malem.
No, I missed the arrangement. You were saying what's happening?
We are breaking in the next 9 minutes.
And what's going to happen is done. The SC.
Yeah, he should be done.
Because he said he needs an hour. We want to ask questions also. I agree this is our committee. It's our committee.
No, that one is beyond disputes. It's beyond dispute. Let's proceed. Let's see.
Advocate Johnson, I think at the outset, I asked you about your knowledge of the PKTT or the NPKTT, and when did it first come to your attention or your knowledge of the existence of this task team? Can you perhaps just repeat your evidence in that regard?
I indicated, Chair, that when Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi on the 6th of July indicated that Idac had arrested a member of the PKTT, we didn't know what he was talking about because we had arrested at that time Lieutenant General Khumalo, the head of CI. And in the days and months that followed, it became clear that he was talking about Lieutenant General Khumalo as the coordinator of the PKTT, which he, for the first time, went into detail on at the Madlanga Commission. And then the PKTT, like I indicated, it's a name that is known, but what they did, who they reported to, what their actual work was not within my knowledge and purview. We didn't have any reason. Even when I was not in Idac, I haven't had any reason to work with the PKTT in whichever shape or form.
Then just an item lastly that you said you could speak about after lunch is the demographics in your office or the
That is
The
correct.
statistics.
Honorable Chair. The staff complement, which includes myself, is 128. Of that, in terms of the gender equity, 65 are male, 63 are female. In terms of the racial demographics, Indians, 16, 16. African staff, 91, 91. White staff, 18, 18. Colored staff, 3. Those are the demographics, Honorable Chair.
And amongst your investigators, what's the figures?
Color composition.
Yes.
The majority of the investigators, I have the numbers on my computer. I gave you the numbers as you asked for, the full description. I have the full breakdown. I think it might be best that we print that document and make it available to the committee. It gives a full breakdown of the entire office, the rank of every individual, as in how many state advocates, the colors, in terms of racial demographics, as well as the genders. That is available, and we can make it available in print form if the Secretariat allows us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Advocate Johnson. Honourable Chair, that concludes our leading of the evidence.
Honorable Shongwe.
Thank you, Chair. Just a point of clarity somewhere. The Kalukubuza advocate, on the arrest of General Kumalo, which referral were you referring to? Yaga suspended Minister Mkunu or Yaga Adams?
I-referral sasebenza kuyo, ama referral wonke siphuma ku Adams. I-referral zakhe zenza ama case I6.
Uyayazi ukuthi le yaga Adams yanga 6 January ngithi, and not on November 2024.
U-Adams wathinta abantu base Idac ngo-November 2024.
But affidavit yanga 6 January.
I-Section 27 referral bayiqede ngo-November.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you done? Not even 1 minute. Okay. Thank you so much. Honorable members, we're coming back at 4:15. And then 30 minutes allocated to a full member and 15 minutes to the alternate. And that is inclusive of responses. Thank you so much.